Z1.
You must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered. I have made arrangements. I can get the 13 we discussed into position. But, tell me, do you think Mr. Benet's plan will work?
You having second thoughts?
I'd risk anything for my people. It's just that Mr. Benet is many things. But he isn't always the most practical. And this plan is very risky.
A better plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone. But synths will have to fight for it.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. And I know of a few others that might as well. But enough to face all the guards? Perhaps if we stand up openly to the scientists, more of my people would join us. Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives for this. But we should be prepared for some of the synths to fight against us.
You won't be alone. The Railroad will fight with you.
Together, we have a chance. I admire Mr. Benet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow. If I don't make our appointment, assume the worst.
Synth unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB last night.
You get me what we
Anything
talked about?
Nothing
And
to
I'm in
report, sir.
business.
I carried out my duties.
Liam,
as usual.
I got your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the modern terminals is going to be seriously time-consuming,
Yes,
even
and
with
he-
that
no,
password.
he's not.
So hand it over and I'll get started.
What is it? Were you or weren't you accessing a terminal in SRB?
Would it be possible to rescue more synths?
Those 13 synths are the only ones we're sure we can trust. If we push our luck and get the wrong synth involved, the whole thing could unravel.
Stutter? Have you developed a defect, unit?
Here you go.
Great. Listen,
Sir,
I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again. Can you give him an update? It's safer if you do it.
Now get back to your duties.
Hey, Z1.
Do you require anything?
I know you'll achieve great things here. We all do.
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
Why do you care what happens on the surface? You're in your own world down here.
Because there are forces on the surface that could pose a threat to us, and only a fool ignores a possible threat. We might diminish that danger by correcting the false perception that we intend some great harm to mankind. But enough about that. The task is done, and you've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
Huh?
Bet it's pretty boring down here
Don't make
compared to up
excuses.
there.
You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this.
Perhaps after you...
I know the task was difficult, but I needed you to see firsthand how dangerous a rogue synth can be.
Why do you care what happens?
Because we... But enough. I couldn't have... While you were... You'll find all the... Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
Excuse me. Don't make excuses.
Hi, mister.
Whatever you think I
intend
did,
to report
I didn't.
this.
Perhaps
How is
after
this
you've
a
been
lie?
disassembled, we can use your
Your new quarters
Something
are here,
that's
sir.
actually useful.
Your quarters are just inside, sir. When you're finished here, sir, Father wants to see you. A successful mission on all counts, sir.
Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge unless your primary levels are below 2%. Also, if you haven't patched your navigation software, do so after this meeting. The last thing we need is more synths bumping into walls. All right, that's all for now. You can resume your duties.
A clean and healthy work environment is essential to maximum productivity.
Sean.
Ah. Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
After everything I've been through to find you, I think you already know.
I'm sorry, Father. Of course. You're right. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. They no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with the Railroad, so you're aware of their misguided beliefs.
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
Where are the synths located?
A small settlement at the old Bunker Hill Monument. But it's important that we act on this soon, before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
Is it just me, or will I have backup?
A Corsair will be waiting for you outside Bunker Hill. You'll have support should you need it. But we want to keep this small.
Please be nothing. Please be nothing.
Hey.
What is it?
Hi.
In the flesh.
It's about time for you to go.
Been nice traveling with you. I'm sure I'll see you again. I'm like a bad penny. I'll keep turning up. I should have a bad... Here I was wanting to spend the day reading Proust.
Okay, keep calm.
Yo, psst. Let's see what I got in my pockets. I'm surprised you can even walk with all that. Psst. Yeah?
Hey,
That's me. What's up?
I think we ought to part ways.
Another... Time to earn our paychecks. I'm getting paid, right? Hell.
Pam.
Intruder countermeasures active. This unit is incapable of voice communication.
Ah, Paladin. Good. Now that the unfortunate matter regarding Danse has been settled, we can return to our primary mission.
Do you think Dance's execution was justified?
It's quite obvious Danse was a traitor. or at the very least, a turncoat in the making. That machine's presence was endangering this ship and its crew. So it needed to be dealt with, swiftly and without mercy. Your actions in this matter were not only justified, they were vital to our mission. With all of that behind us, we can shift our focus back to our wartime preparations.
No rest for the weary.
We'll rest when the Institute is a smoking ruin. Until then, Elder Maxon and I expect you to be at your best. Now, before we launch our attack on the Institute, we need to address another threat. The Railroad. They're a small but capable group that uses subterfuge and guerrilla tactics to harass their enemies. Our tactical analysis says they could possibly hamper or harm our operations, which is a risk I'm not willing to take. If we strike them now, we should be able to maximize the amount of damage we do to their organization.
Why is the Railroad such a threat?
Even with their relatively small numbers, the Railroad is a constant threat to our operations. They've already proven to be resilient against superior forces, with a knack for disappearing when cornered. Worse still, they possess the capability to help synths flee the Institute. If we intend to end the synth menace, we need to plug the leaks. Destroying the Railroad hinges on completely eliminating their leadership. Otherwise, they'll simply regroup somewhere else. To that end, here's a list of the 5 targets we believe would cause a catastrophic failure in their chain of command.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Paladin. Now, before you depart, Proctor Ingram has additional orders for you to complete.
Our sources tell us that the Railroad has some sort of experimental or prototype robot in their headquarters. They're calling it the Predictive Analytic Machine, or PAM for short. Cute, huh? They use the robot for complex strategic calculations that are much more efficient than anything we can generate here. If you could use this holotape to decrypt the security on Pam's terminal, it will force the unit to return to the Prydwen. I'm certain we could put Pam's computing power to good use. Otherwise, destroy it. We wouldn't want it to fall into the Institute's hands.
Anything useful you can tell me about Pam?
We have very little information on it. Its primary function is supposed to be using mathematical calculations in order to predict future events. I have no idea how successful it was, but if the Railroad's been using Pam for this long, it's gotta be providing them with some sort of benefit. I'm sure Proctor Quinlan would be pleased to have it in his possession.
I think that should be sufficient information to assist you on the mission, Paladin. When you're ready, proceed to the Old North Church and link up with our assault team. They'll provide demolition support and all the firepower you'll need to take the Railroad down. Ad Victoriam, Paladin.
Try and get Pam back here in one piece, okay?